The cinema times, the cinema times.
And we have seen you acting in a couple of films like Sadhya and then the Matuki Cycle, which we are eager to watch that. So why you are into other areas besides acting films in the recent years?
Namaste. That's a very difficult question. I don't know why I am into what I am doing. I think it's just the flow of time, opportunity, and the process of work, because I enjoy every part of storytelling. Finding stories, finding characters, weaving events, creating the fiction, and the challenge of being able to say what you want to say in the language they would understand. And, be it the visual application or acting or direction, I enjoy everything. So I would say whatever develops, whatever comes my way, I try to do, the best that I can, and I make sure that I love it and I enjoy it. That's it. So, to answer your question, the last feature film that I directed was Prakash Jha, which couldn't be released during the pandemic and had to be released on OTT, which have come my way, and I'm kind of like, at this point of time, just preparing to shoot another web series which is called Lal Batti. And post that, next year I have a feature film on slate. So you will see in end of 1923 a feature film and the web series that one is doing. But the idea is to just enjoy and keep working, that's it.
Prakash sir, we have seen a strange phenomenon in Bollywood these days. The budget of the film has grown up, and we have seen actor demanding for 100 crores and the producer targeting 1,000 crores from the film. So where do you find yourself in Bollywood, where the scriptless films are being produced and there is a superstar obsessions, and the filmmakers who want to narrate their story in a different way are finding hard, difficult to sustain themselves. So where do you find yourself in these difficult times?
So, there are two reasons, basically two reasons. There must be a lot more sub-reasons, but two reasons why we make movies. One is because we have something to tell, we have a story, and we have the great passion to be able to put it on the screen and somehow bring it to an audience. So we try and make a film. We do everything to make that film. Beg, borrow, steal, whatever. Because we have something to say. The other reason is that it's a good commercial proposition. Let's make some money, so let's make some movies. So the moment you begin where you have to make money, so you make a movie, so obviously you will put everything in it which is money attractive. So you bring in, stars or locations or kind of cooked up emotions or something which, boils not necessarily to communicate but to search for your pockets. So you do a different kind of cinema, you know. I mean, that's also, sometimes it works. And since one of them works, 99 of them fail, there will be another 99 who will be ready to put up their money. I get propositions every single day where people would come to me and say, I have got certain amount of money, you know, just let's do a movie. What has happened today is, in this business of filmmaking, some good things have happened because some certain amount of discipline has come because of corporatization of working method, distribution, cinema, all those things. But when you really think of creating content, you have to invest in creating content. You have to put in time there. You have to get the writers to work on it. You have to not kind of take ideas and make movies, but you really have to write a script, a story which will work, which has got its inner strength, which has got a soul. But what these corporates are doing, that they have a certain amount of budget, fund, money, which they have to, you know, they have to work on their books. So they have started catching hold of these stars who are saleable, who are popular, and sign them up not for films but for projects. So now you have a whole lineup of projects where there are no films, there are no subjects, there are no stories. So they are doing remakes from the South Indian films or European films or wherever they can find. They have now started importing directors also, these corporates. They just have to do a project. The actors just have to do a project. So that is the situation, that's the reason the quality of cinema has deteriorated, and the audience, you know, took it for some time, but then after that they said, look, you can't hoodwink us all the time. So they are not going to cinema, they're not seeing those films. And you have films which have those souls or which can engage audience, they are doing extremely well. I have cinemas, I run cinemas, so I know exactly every day how many people are coming into my cinema and watching which film. So this is how it works. For someone like me, I mean, I don't have any problem. I work on stories, I take my own time and years and get the stories that I want to, and I've never had any problem in making the film I want to make, fortunately. I'm really, really fortunate for that, you know, in terms of either getting the funds or getting the actors or getting to make the film or eventually putting them up on the screen. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, that's fine. But I have made those films. So I guess I'm not the only one. There are several other filmmakers like me who continue to create content. And then there are several piggies who are the OTT platforms, the satellite channels, the music companies, the corporates, who have no idea as to how a story is made. And they have come into the business, so they are trying to run the business, and sometimes, you know, it works for them, but most of the times it doesn't.
Prakash, we love your film because we very much relate ourselves to your films. For instance, you have Satyagraha, we have the similar kind of situation in Nepal where Dr. Govinda Kesi, he is on fast for many consecutive times. So I watched your Chakravyuh, which is based on the Naxalite movement, and we also had watched incidents for a decade. One of our jury members, Kiran Bhakta Joshi, just spelled out that the film should be authentic and you have to honestly yourself to make the film which is sustainable. So how a film could be authentic and how you could do justice to the story, sir? So what is your idea of making an authentic film, given the social political issues?
Well, many of us here are aspiring filmmakers, fellow filmmakers, colleagues, and people who love cinema. I can only speak about how I find a story and how I work on a story. You know, no story begins from the end. Because if you begin the story from its end, then you have to work for it and you have to try and reach there. Every story, every true, honest story, has an organic body. How I do it is that I am aware, I would like to know about everything that happens around me. And keep noting them, keep thinking about them, why there is something which is happening the way it is happening. And if there are layers and reasons behind it, and if there are patterns of the incidents which happen around us, then connect those patterns, and at some point of time they all compute together to kind of a landscape of puzzles of similar things happening all around us. Say it's a society-police relationship. My films deal with these things, or religion, or caste system, or labor system, or education, or the social problem of the Naxals. So several Naxal problems which have happened over a period of time will come together to be able to tell a story. So when I get these incidents, these happenings, these characters, then I begin to talk to them, to the incidents, then people, and somehow the story begins to take shape. And sometimes it takes a long time. Like, for me, every script has taken at least 4, 5, 6 years to develop. Many times of writing. Because when I start writing, I want to bring everything, and I want to say everything. But eventually, like when the first draft gets done, I say, my God, it's so loaded, I can't, I'm not being able to concentrate. Because you need to find the character, the soul. Something, somewhere I'll hang on to, someone I'll sympathize with, someone I'll laugh with, someone I'll cry with, someone I'll be moved with, somebody who has been suffering, some underdog who will eventually take a revenge, or create something. And this thing doesn't happen the first time. I'm happy to admit that it takes me a long time. It takes me, there are most of these films that I made, I must have handwritten them, because I can't write on computer, so I have to handwrite with pencil on paper. So far it really has been an amazing journey, and fortunately I continue to have it. I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying talking with you. I'm enjoying, being with all the friends and colleagues and passionate cinema viewers. And that's it.
The cinema times, the cinema times.